So let's now proceed to the problem solving portion of this discussion. So for problem one, we will have a lump sum liquidation problem. So the problem reads, the partners of ABC Partnership have agreed to liquidate their partnership as of December 31, 2014. The partnership has cash of 80,000, non-cash assets of 810,000, and liabilities of 270,000. The capital accounts of the partners are A, 60,000, B, 290,000, and C, 270,000. The partners share profits and losses in the ratio of 3:3:2 respectively. The partnership was able to sell all non-cash assets for 634,000 and paid 24,000 of liquidation expenses. Required, we have three independent cases. Case 1, prepare a statement of liquidation assuming all partners are solvent. Case 2, prepare a statement of liquidation assuming the liabilities of 270,000 includes a 70,000 note payable to A. All partners are solvent. Case 3. Prepare a statement of liquidation assuming the non-cash assets of 810,000 include a note receivable from B in the amount of 110,000. So let's begin with the first case. So basically what we have to do is create this table. Gagawa tayo ng partnership liquidation schedule. So for the first case, as it is lang yung problem, and we assume that the partners are solvent kasi 'di ba kapag silent, we assume that they are insolvent. Pero ngayon, we assume that they are solvent. So kaya pa nilang mag-invest if there is a deficiency in their capital balances. So for case 1, let's put the respective amounts. So we have cash of 80,000, non-cash assets of 810,000, liabilities of 270,000, and the respective capital balances of the partners. So ang mapapansin nyo, napansin niyo guys, dapat balance ang assets to liabilities and equity. So 890, 890. So any movements in these accounts, whether addition or deduction, dapat it should be equal on both sides. Dapat kung ano yung effect sa assets, yung liabilities and equities part, ganun din yung magiging net effect para mag-balance out siya. So, um, sundan natin yung steps natin kanina dun sa theory portion, di ba? First, we will have the realization of the assets and distribution of any gains or losses. So, our non-cash assets are 634, or were sold for 634,000 rather, and they are worth 810,000. Ibig sabihin, meron tayong loss of 176,000. Now, paano natin ilalagay sa table? So, of course, nabenta natin for 634, so our cash will increase by 634,000. Ang nabenta, of course, since this is lump sum, all of it, so 810, mababawasan na. Kaso, pag pinag-add mo to, it's not balanced here kasi negative 176,000. Of course, yun yung loss natin. So, kapag ka-journal entry mo yan or you put it in a journal entry, that's debit to cash, debit to the respective capital balances since it's a loss, and then credit to the non-cash assets. And how will we distribute this loss? In their P&L ratio. So that's 176,000 times 3 over 8, 176,000 times 3 over 8, and 176,000 times 2 over 8. That gives us the following amounts. And then, of course, you will get the balances. Should always be equal. Always be equal, guys. Next, for the payment of the expenses, it says here, 24,000. So after mong na-realize you have cash, you pay the liquidation expenses. Now, since expenses to and it's not recorded yet in the books, syempre, sa asset side, maka-credit ang cash, mababawasan ang cash ng 24,000. So anong mababawasan dito sa kabilang side? It would be the capital balances. Paghahatian nila again in their P&L ratio. So that's 24,000 times 3 over 8 is 9,000 for A and B. And for C, 24,000 times 2 over 8, that's 6,000. And of course, you get the balances again. Next, payment of liabilities. So natapos na yung realization. We paid the expenses. Next, we will pay the liability. So 690 minus 270, cash is enough to pay the liabilities. Diretsuhin na natin. Mababawasan ng 270 ang cash, mababawasan rin ng liabilities ng 270. And that leaves us with these balances. Kaso si A, meron siyang negative balance deficiency. So anong gagawin natin? Since sabi sa problem, the partners are solvent, A will have to invest additional capital to cover this deficiency. So anong entry? Debit cash, credit A capital for 15,000. Ang mangyayari nun, oh, I'm sorry, napakita na lahat. Pero ang mangyayari nun, magiging 435,000 ang cash, madadagdagan ng 15,000, mag-zero out ang balance ni A, and B and C will remain the same. So it's still equal, 435 dito sa ating assets, the cash, and our capital balances remaining are 435. So you will distribute that 435 to those two partners. For case 2, we will need to prepare a statement of liquidation assuming the liabilities of 270,000 includes a 70,000 note payable to A. All partners are solvent. So, di ba nga, there are instances that the partner loan, will give a loan to the partnership, or they may loan a certain amount from the partnership. So, pag nag-loan yung partner sa partnership or nagbigay siya ng cash in the form of a loan to the partnership, ang mangyayari nun, it would be considered as a liability. It wouldn't be considered as an investment. So, yun yung dito sa case 2, note payable to A. A made an investment. So what we will do now is yung liabilities mababawasan ng 70 and it will be split, magiging 70,000 na note payable kay A. Pero almost the same process lang naman. We will realize the assets again for 634. So ang 176 will be divided again in their P&L ratios. For the expenses, nothing has changed here. 24,000 again will be divided among the partners in their P&L ratio. Now, sa liabilities, dito medyo mag-iiba kasi of course, since 200,000 na lang ang liabilities natin, 200,000 lang ang mababawasan sa ating cash. Kaso, A still has a negative balance. So, may negative balance or deficiency pa rin si A. But in this case, kahit may negative balance siya, what we can do naman is offset. Kasi nga, yung 15,000 dito, pwede natin ilipat dito para ma-cover yung deficiency. Kasi the partnership still owes A 70,000. So, you can offset that still. So, mababawasan ng 15,000 o madadagdagan ng 15,000 to. And ang net effect nun is zero. So, it's still possible. Ayun, it would still be balanced. So, ang ginawa lang natin, nilipat natin yung 15,000. And then, let's check if it's still balanced. We have 490,000 cash. And for our credit balances, our note payable to A and the capital balances are still 490. So what you will do to this 490, pabayaran mo sa mga partners na yan. Ayun. For the final case, dito naman, prepare a statement of liquidation assuming the non-cash assets of 810,000 include a note receivable from B in the amount of 110,000. So, um, some things that we can do para mapadali yung pagsosolve before we move on to case 3 is you can actually offset the loan agad sa mga capital balances para hindi ka na mag-offset dito sa baba. Kasi the result would still be the same either way. Kasi yung ano lang naman natin dito, payment to partners, 55,000 pa rin naman yung mababayaran kay A. Kahit sabihin natin ilipat natin siya, kahit i-offset mo na agad yung loan para hindi na siya mag-negative balance. So that is also possible naman. Nagmo-move-move ka lang naman nung capital balances nila. Um, So yun, possible siya. And another thing you can do para shortcut din in solving these problems, kahit di nyo nakunin yung balances per transaction. Like for example, solve nyo na yung realization, split nyo na yung loss, solve nyo na yung payment of expenses and yung payment of liabilities. Then you get the balance para makita nyo kung may nag-negative. Tapos you proceed from there. Kasi kesa sa kukunin mo yung balance every time, parang time consuming. At least kung mabilis, kahit di mo na kunin yung balances after every transaction, ah ayun, agad yung masosolve naman. It would still be the same. You just have to make sure na lahat ng additions and deductions nyo on both sides would be the same. Yung net effect niya, balance. Kasi parang balance sheet pa rin naman to eh. Like, the assets are here, tapos the liabilities and equity balances are here. So for case 3, let's proceed. Ang nangyari dito, yung 810,000 on cash asset, may 110 dun na receivable from B. So ibig sabihin, may utang si B sa partnership kasi may receivable. Nangutang si B sa partnership ng 110,000. So ayun, basically split lang natin yung 810. Yung 700,000 would still be the same, the non-cash assets, and 110,000 would be the receivables from B. So ayun nga, gaya nga ng sinabi ko, pwede nyo na agad i-offset yung receivables or yung payables. Basta yung mga loan balances from the partners or to the partners, pwede nyo nang i-offset agad. So bali, mababawasan to ng 110 and mababawasan din ng 110 yung capital. Kasi nga, parang interest in the partnership. Interest in the partnership to, may utang siya sa partnership. So, para hindi na rin siya kailangan i-offset sa bandang dulo pa, dito pa lang sa start, i-offset na natin. Ayun, so mag-zero out to, then this one would be decreased by 110. And for the realization, mag-iiba tayo ng konti dito because in the first two, 810 yung non-cash, dito 700K lang. So, how much yung loss natin? 634,000 yung na-realize still, pero 700,000 lang yung book value. So, we have a loss of 66,000. So, paano natin ilalapag? Basically, you just, same pa rin naman, mababawasan to ng 700, madadagdagan to ng 634. And of course, the 66,000 loss would be divided among the partners, 66,000 times 3 over 8, 66,000 times 3 over 8, and 66,000 times 2 over 8. That would give us the following amounts. And kapag niles mo, ito yung magiging amount. For the payment of expenses, still the same, 24,000 bawas sa cash, and the amount should be divided among the partners in their P&L ratio. Ayun. So 690,000. Now, we still have liabilities of 270. Bayaran na natin yung liabilities. So mababawasan ng 270K yung cash natin and yung liabilities mag-zero out. And those would be our balances. Equal pa rin ba? We have 420,000 for cash, and for the capital accounts, we still have a total of 420. So ang mangyayari niyan, itong 420, we will just pay it out to the partners. I-distribute natin. And that's it for our first problem. Let us now proceed to problem two, where we will solve a installment liquidation problem. So for problem two, we have an installment liquidation problem. Uh, Dito sa problem two, so the first portion, we are given the capital and loan balances for each partner or for each partner. So kung mapapansin nyo, merong naka-negative dito. What we can assume here is pag negative, it's a debit balance. So ibig sabihin receivable siya. Pero pinagsama na lang sila para mas madali na lang sa illustration. Um, pero that 4,000 is a debit balance. It's a receivable for this illustration. So, yun yung capital balances. And on July 1, 2014, the company's assets and liabilities are cash of 6,000, other assets of 244,000, liabilities of 130,000. Projected payments for the month of July and August, 10,000 at the end of July, and 4,000 at the end of August as a reserve for future unrecorded liabilities. By the end of September, Partner E expects that all liquidation expenses and unrecorded liabilities will be known so that final distribution plan can be made. So by the end of September, magkakaroon na ng final settlement. And the following events took place during the 3-month liquidation of the company. So cash realized the book value of the assets sold and the unrecorded liabilities paid. Additional information, it was agreed by the partners that the debit balance of C loan will be offset before the final payment. And two, all partners are insolvent except for partner D. The excess of his personal assets over his personal liabilities is 5,000 pesos only. So here again is our partnership liquidation statement or partnership liquidation table. So lapag natin ulit, of course, yung mga balances, we have cash and other assets, and then the liabilities and the capital balance, the liabilities, loans, and the capital balances. So kung mapapansin nyo, 250,000 ang total nito. And dito sa liabilities, loans, and capital, we have 250,000 as well. Kahit debit balance to, pag sinama mo dito siya sa side na to, it would still be 250,000. So, for the first step, of course, sa installment liquidation, parang inuulit-ulit lang natin yung lump sum. Same procedures. You realize the asset, you pay liquidation expenses, if any, you pay liabilities, and then you pay the partners. Pero paulit-ulit siya. And of course, we will use a safe payment schedule in this case to determine kung magkano yung madidistribute sa partners. So let's begin, of course, with the realization and distribution of loss. So dito, for the month of July, we sold assets worth 180,000 and earned 136,000. Meaning, nagkaroon tayo ng loss of 44,000. So we sold them for 136, we gained 136. Ang value ng assets na nabenta natin, 180, kaya nabawasan ng 180. Ibig sabihin, may loss tayo of 44, which we will distribute, of course, in the P&L ratios of the partners. So that's 44,000 times 20%, 44,000 times 50%, and 44,000 times 10%. And makukuha natin yung balances nila. Next, let's pay the liabilities. Enough naman kasi yung cash para ma-fulfill yung liabilities, and ang priority natin, of course, sa liquidation ng partnership or the outside creditors muna. So, yun nga, since enough naman yung cash, let's reduce the assets by 130 and bawasan na rin natin ang liabilities by 130, and zero out na yung liabilities. And we have 12,000 cash for distribution. Pero, we need to determine kung magkano muna yung madidistribute. Kasi, according dito sa problem, at 10,000 cash by the end of July as a reserve for future unrecorded liability. So, paano natin i-compute to? Of course, gagawa tayo ng schedule of safe payments. Kunin natin yung balances na to, 27,200, 19,200, negative 10,000, and 25,600. Next, kunin natin yung net interest by adding or deducting their loan. B has a loan balance of 14,000. C has negative 4,000, so that's a receivable, bawas siya. And then D has 4,000 na loan. So, yun. Kunin natin yung net interest by deducting or adding as appropriate. So, ito yung mga net interest nila sa partnership. Now, magkano yung possible loss natin? As I've mentioned a while ago, ang maximum possible loss natin, of course, would be the other non-cash assets sold. So, that's 64,000. Tapos, we also need to take into consideration yung mga cash withheld. Kasi magwi-withhold tayo ng 10,000 for future unrecorded liability. So, ang total possible loss natin, maximum possible loss is 64,000 plus 10,000, 74,000. Anong gagawin natin sa 74,000? We will consider it as a loss, then i-distribute natin to the partners using, again, their P&L ratio. So yun, edi na-distribute na, get their balances. Kaya lang, merong may negative balance, 43,000. And di ba nga, kay Disha, ang assumption natin when making the safe payment schedule rather, lahat ng partners are insolvent. So itong 43,000 would be absorbed using the P&L ratio of the remaining partners. So pag dinidistribute natin, remember, hindi nakasama yung 50% ni D. So ang ratio natin yan, sa pag-distribute nitong 43,000, it would be 43,000 times 20 over 50, 20 over 50, and 10 over 50. Bakit? Kasi hindi na natin sasali yung 50% kasi ito nga yung pinapa-absorb natin eh. So, dapat equal to 43,000 tong mga binawasan natin sa other partners and that we would get our balances then. Kaso, meron pa rin may negative balance. Hanggat walang nauubos na negative, hanggat hindi pa nauubos yung negative balances, you will still repeat the same process. So, this 16,800 would again be distributed between the remaining partners with positive balances. So, 20 over 30 kasi 20 and 10. Tapos, 10 over 30, i-distribute tong 16,800. Ayun. So, ang magiging balances natin, still, may negative balance si B. Pero since si E na lang ang may positive balance, he will be the one to absorb this 2,000. Pero still, ang ending, si E ang magkakaroon ng payment for our first liquidation, 2,000. So, iilagay na natin sa table natin, may payment si E na 2,000, so mababawasan ng 2,000, mababawasan rin ng 2,000 ng cash natin. At kung mapapansin mo, ang magiging cash balance natin ay 10,000, which is the reserve for unrecorded liabilities dito sa problem. So kung tama ang ginawa mo, of course, the ending balance should be 10,000 at dapat balanse pa rin ang ating partnership liquidation table. Ayun. So we have 74,000 here and 74,000 here. Next, for August, we repeat the same process. So for this month, we sold assets worth 18,000 for 22,000. That gives us a gain of 4,000 pesos. Pero may twist. nagbayad tayo ng unrecorded liabilities. Paano yun malalatag? Well, let's solve it now. So for the realization, yun nga, we sold 18,000 worth of assets. So mababawasan ng 18. Pero madadagdagan naman ng 22,000 yung cash natin. Meaning, may gain tayo na 4,000 which will be distributed among the partners. So that's 4,000 times 20%, 4,000 times 20%, 4,000 times 50%, and 4,000 times 10%. Then you just get the balances. Next, we have unrecorded liabilities of 8,000. So, yun nga, alam naman natin, pag nagbayad tayo, mababawasan ng cash. Pero ano yung mababawasan sa debit side? Kasi maka-credit yung cash, ano yung madedebit? Well, since wala naman ng liabilities, di naman natin pwedeng i-debit ang liability. Since unrecorded siya, hindi pa siya naka-record sa books, ang mababawasan of course, yung capital balances. So yung entry niyan, debit to the debit capital of the partners in their P&L ratio again, and then credit cash. So ayun nga, 8,000 ang mababawasan, then we distribute that to the partners using their P&L ratio. So that's 8,000 times 20%, 8,000 times 20%, 8,000 times 50%, and 8,000 times 10%. And makukuha na natin yung balances. Now, what will we do with these balances? Gagawa tayo ulit ng safe payment schedule. So yun, kopyahin natin yung capital balances, then we will adjust them accordingly using their loan balances. So that's 26,400, 18,400, negative 12,000, and 23,200. Then, deduct natin yung loan balances nila. We have 14,000, negative 4,000, and 4,000 for BCD respectively. And then you just total that, you will get their total interest. So magkano naman yung possible loss natin for this month? Let's check our table. We still have 46,000 in non-cash assets that are yet to be sold. So magiging loss yan. Tapos may i-withhold ba tayo according to the problem? Yes. 4,000 at the end of August as a reserve for future unrecorded liabilities. So ang total loss natin, 46,000 na non-cash assets na hindi pa nabebenta at 4,000 na reserve. So, 50,000. 50,000 that we will distribute again between the partners using their P&L ratio. 50,000 times 20%, 50%, and 10%. And yet again, may negative balance si partner D. How will we remedy this? Of course, we will distribute again using their P&L ratio. So again, 20 over 50, 20 over 50, and 10 over 50. Ayun. So binawasan natin yung dinistribute natin yung negative balance. Pero meron pa ring negative balance si C. So we will distribute again between B and E. 20 over 10 and 20 over 30 rather, and 10 over 30. This multiply natin dun sa 8,800 para ma-distribute, and those are the amounts that you will get. Tapos i-deduct mo lang, and those are the amounts to be paid for the month of August. So itong mga amounts na to, i-apply natin sa ating table. 11,333 for B and 8,666.67 kay partner E for a total of 20,000. So, kung mapapansin nyo, inuna natin yung loan balance ni B before paying or before applying it to the capital balance. So, ayun, since priority kasi 'di ba in our marshaling of assets, our priority is first sa partnership POV, it's first the outside creditors, then the loans of the partners, then the capital balances, then the profit. Excuse me. So, binawasan natin ng 20K. Tapos, ayun nga, according to our safe payment schedule, babawasan natin yung B, yung capital balance ni B and yung capital balance ni E. Pero since mas may loan balance si B, inuna natin yung loan balance. And those would be our, and after deducting those, that would be our ending balances for August. So kung mapapansin nyo, 4,000 yung natira. And again, sabi nga, 4,000 dapat ang matitira for the month of August. So now let's proceed to the month of September. So for the month of September naman, yung remaining 46,000 assets natin were sold for 20,000. Meaning, may loss tayo na 26,000. So, we'll just do the same again, di ba? Paulit-ulit lang naman yan. Madadagdagan ng 20,000 ng cash, mababawasan ng 46,000 ng non-current assets, and the loss would be distributed using the P&L ratios of the partners. Ayun. That would be the balances after distributing the loss. Now, wala nang liabilities, wala na ring babayaran na expenses. Ngayon, dito na tayo niyan mag-offsetting. Why? Because as you can see, may mga negative balances yung mga partners. So, ayun, 'di ba sabi nga kanina, yung kay C, it will be offset before the final settlement. So, offset na natin. Mababawasan to ng 4,000 tapos mababawasan din to ng 4,000 yung capital ni C. Kasi nga may utang siya sa partnership, bawasan na lang natin yung interest. Next, meron bang may negative balance sa mga partners? Yes, si D. Tapos, merong loan balance si D. So, we can offset that one para mabawasan yung negative balance niya. So, yun. Kunin na natin yung balances after offsetting the loans. Next, um, after mong mag-offset, what you can do is have the partners invest if they have enough assets. Kung wala, dun tayo a-absorb or dun mag-absorb yung mga partners sa mga deficiencies or negative balances. Pero in this case, 'di ba, D has a deficiency balance. Pero sabi naman dito, all partners are insolvent except for partner D. Pero the excess of his personal assets over personal liabilities is 5,000 only. Take note of this kapag nagbigay ng ganitong problem kasi hindi naman ibig sabihin na 21,000 yung deficiency ni D, mako-cover niya lahat yun. 5,000 lang. So, ibig sabihin, what will happen? Mag-i-invest si D nung 5,000 na yun. Since siya lang naman yung solvent partner, pero 5,000 lang yung excess niya, he will need to invest that to cover his deficiency. Pero 5,000 lang. Di naman pwedeng yung buong 21,000. So yun, nag-invest siya, nag-debit ng cash, kinredit yung capital balance niya. Pero still, it's not enough to cover the deficiency. So anong mangyayari? Absorb ng mga remaining partners using their P&L ratio. So again, this 16,000 will be distributed 20 over 50, 20 over 50, and 10 over 50. Ayun. So those would be the that would be the distribution. Then you get the balances. Ayun. So ito yung mga remaining capital balances nung partners. Wala na yung kay D kasi inabsorb na nung remaining partners. So what will you do again kapag nagkaroon ng deficiency balance? First, offset. Second, make an investment if the partners are still solvent. Take note kung may binigay na assets and liabilities, you can only invest yung excess ng assets over the liabilities. Personal assets and liabilities. Doon pa lang pwedeng mag-invest ang mga partners. Then, lastly, ayun, doon magkakaroon ng absorption or pag may excess pa, tapos wala nang mai-invest, doon pa lang mag-absorb yung ibang partners. So, ayun, we have 29,000 cash and the liabilities and equity portion is still 29,000. So, ibig sabihin itong 29,000 ma-apply sa 2,666.67 loan ni B, 14,800 na capital balance ni B, 2,800 balance capital balance ni C, and yung 8,733.33 balance ni partner E. Ayun. So for installment liquidation problem, ang kailangan lang talaga ma-master yung mismong table tsaka kung paano gumagalaw yung per column or yung per account kasi very tedious to. Tapos magkakaroon ng mga short problems na there are missing information na super haba ng process. So minsan tatanungin lang yung cash ganun. So, halimbawa, tinanong dito magkano yung na cash na na-distribute noong July. What you can do, kunin mo yung beginning balance, add mo yung realization, less mo yung payment of liabilities. Tapos, since alam mo naman na dapat 10,000 yung reserve, 12,000 minus 10,000, ibig sabihin 2,000 yung nabayaran. Hindi mo na kailangan gawin yung buong process. So may mga ganong problem. So it's a matter of mastering kung paano yung movements ng balances para hindi na rin kailangan gumawa ng mahabang solution. So for the next problem, ayun, we will try the cash priority program na approach. And ayun nga, I will show to you kung paano siya um, ginagalaw para at least somehow mas mapapabilis yung pag-solve ng mga problems. So ayun, basta so long as you master kung paano gumagalaw yung mga accounts, yung movement, ayun, mas madali yung mga partnership liquidation problem. Let's proceed to the final problem. Problem 3. A balance sheet for the partnership of X, Y, and Z who share profits and losses in the ratio of 2:1:1 shows the following balances just before the liquidation. Cash of 12,000, other assets of 59,500, liabilities of 20,000, X capital of 22,000, Y capital of 15,500, and Z capital of 14,000. On the first installment of the liquidation, certain assets were sold for 32,000. Liquidation expenses of 1,000 are paid and additional liquidation expenses are anticipated. Liabilities are paid amounting to 5,400 and sufficient cash is retained to ensure the payment to creditors before making payment to partners. On the first payment to partners, X received 6,250. So the two questions are, one, the amount of cash payment to partners in the first installment is, and two, the cash withheld for anticipated liquidation. So for this problem, medyo mag-work back tayo or kulang yung info kasi. So, hindi naman natin agad-agad masosolve to ng using the table kasi hindi sinabi kung magkano yung assets na nabenta. This is installment liquidation. Hindi sinabi kung magkano yung certain assets na nabenta. Tapos hindi rin sinabi kung magkano yung cash na withhold. So that means we need to use a different approach. And for these types of problems, one approach that I can recommend is the cash priority program. So, uh, yun nga, since alam naman natin na dito nabayaran 6,250, using this cash priority program, we can somehow derive kung magkano yung nabayad sa mga partners. So, paano gumawa ng cash priority program? First, we take the total interest of the partner. So, since wala naman silang loan balances, as it is lang yung mga capital accounts. So, 22,000 for X, 15,500 for Y, and 14,000 for Z. Then, magkano yung ano nila, yung P&L ratio. So 2 is to 1 is to 1. That's basically 2 over 4, 1 over 4, and 1 over 4, which is 50%, 25%, and 25%. So, yun yung gagamitin nating P&L ratio to divide, and ang makukuha natin yung maximum loss absorption capacity nila. Next, what will we do with this maximum loss absorption capacity? Kukunin natin yung highest, babawasan natin dun sa amount para mag-equal siya sa second highest. So, ibig sabihin, priority natin si partner Y at mababawasan siya ng 6,000 para mag-balance out sila ni partner Y and Z. Tapos itong 6,000, what you will do, i-multiply mo sa kanyang P&L ratio, 25%, and that will give us our first payment. Ibig sabihin, pag nagkaroon ng payment, mauuna si partner Y at mabibigyan siya ng 1,500. Next, for the second priority, yung lowest, syempre, para mag-equal siya, we need to decrease Y and Z para mag-balance out sila. Yun yung goal. Ano yung amount para mag-balance out sila? Babawasan natin sila ng 12,000. And then of course, you will multiply it again to the P&L ratio. Pero since pareho naman sila, 12,000 times 25% is 3,000. So ibig sabihin, ang second priority, after mabayaran si Y ng 1,500, babayaran mo yung dalawang partners ng 3,000. So for example, ano pala, just in case, if ever man, let's say use the cash priority program, tapos nabayaran mo na si partner Y under priority 1. Paano kung yung, let's say, yung next priority is, let's say, ang cash na lang is 5,000. Hindi siya enough after fulfilling this one. Tapos 5,000 na lang. What you will do, you will prorate it according dito sa priority 2, yung 5,000 na yun. And then, of course, magbabalance out na sila nun. So, ang third priority in their P&L ratio for all partners. Now, kung mapapansin nyo sa problem, X received 6,250. Pero, wala sa priority si X. Hindi priority si X. Dito sa problem na to. So, anong gagawin na? Anong ibig sabihin nun? It just means to say, nakaabot na sila sa priority 3. Na-fulfill na tong dalawang to at nandito na sila. So, kung nabigyan si partner X ng 6,250 and may share siya na 50%, what will we do? You divide it, 6,250 divided by 50%. You'll get 12,500. Meaning to say, for priority 3, ang nabayad na is 12,500. Pero di pa nagtatapos dyan. Siyempre, we have priority 2 and priority 1. So, for priority 2, we have 6,000 kasi 3,000 and 3,000. Excuse me. And then for priority 1, we have 1,500 pesos. So that gives us a total cash payment of 20,000. So you just have to analyze it kung paano yung priority. So since nabayaran si X, we can assume na nandito na sila sa priority 3. Na-fulfill na tong dalawang to. So that's how we work back at nakuha yung sagot na 20,000. Next. Number 2, the amount of cash withheld for anticipated liquidation. So dito, imbes na gagawa pa tayo nung table, kahit diretso na tayo mag-solve kasi nandun na yung info eh. Alam na natin kung magkano yung payment. So, beginning cash balance, 12,000. On the first installment liquidation, we earned or realized 32,000. So yun yung proceeds natin, additional yun. Excuse me again. So for the expenses, we paid 1,000. Tapos for the liabilities, ang binayad lang according to the problem is 5,400. So bawasan natin ng 5,400. And our cash payment to the partners according dito is 20,000. So ibig sabihin, ang cash withheld natin is 17,600. Ayun, it's enough to cover the remaining liability since hindi nga nabayaran lahat. Tapos may excess pa yun for liquidation expenses. Ayun, so basically, that is how you solve for these kinds of problems, liquidation problems, using the cash priority program. So, kung tatanungin niyo ako kung ano yung mas better to use between the two, actually, walang mas better. It will depend pa rin sa problem kasi yung mga problems talaga na gagamitin mo yung safe schedule payments or schedule of safe payments rather. So ayun, there are other problems naman na it's more convenient to use the cash priority program. Ako, I would recommend this kapag nag-work back tulad dito kasi nga hindi naman binigay yung ibang info. Kaya nag-cash priority program. Pero yun, it's just a matter of practicing uh, the problems and understanding kung paano gumagalaw yung mga liquidation table and so on and so forth. So I hope you learned something from this recording and thank you for listening. Good luck on your midterm examination.